Welcome to the Clean Hits Hockey Podcast. I am your host, Brad. We got Kenny, we got Corey, and we also have a very special guest today. This is a player who stands out both on and off the ice for his larger-than-life stature and personality. He's a 6'7" menace on the blue line who brings that old-school grit with some new-school swagger. Joining us today is none other than Maveric Lamoureux, from first-round NHL draft pick to a key part of the Utah Hockey Club's future. Maveric's journey is just getting started, and he is here to tell us all about it. Maveric, how are you doing?
Doing good. What about you guys?
Yeah, doing good. You're down in the Sonoran Desert in Tucson right now?
Yeah, down here, and it's getting hot in here, so
Yeah. Yeah, we're familiar with that, but your guys' season will kind of wrap up before it gets too hot.
Yeah.
I don't
So we
remember
got
how long the
two.
playoffs go till.
Yeah, we got 2 more games left. We play Friday, Saturday. So big games. With
Cool.
those games, we'll see if we make playoffs or not. So it's gonna be huge games this weekend for us.
Yeah, we'll be rooting for you, and I think there is a little bit of talk internally that if you guys make the playoffs, we'll come down for a game and cheer for you guys live.
It's perfect. Glad to see you guys here.
Yeah, awesome. Well, first off, we need to settle this once and for all. How do you actually pronounce your last name? We've heard Lamoureux and we've heard Lamoureux.
Yeah. Well, the way to say it in French is Lamoureux.
Okay.
So that's the proper way to say it, but it's hard for English people to say the R, say re. So normally everyone just says Lamoureux. So Lamoureux is fine. I'm used to it now. It's been like that for a couple of years, but the French way to say it is Lamoureux.
Okay, perfect.
What do your teammates call you? I know everybody's got a fun hockey nickname.
Yeah, well, it depends a bit. Like it's mostly Mav or Lammer, and when I play a couple games with Utah, they call me Lover up there because my last name means lover.
Cool.
So Lamoureux in French means lover. So I had that a bit going on, but it's mostly Mav or Lammer.
Okay,
awesome. Well, let's get into some of those first time moments that you've had, because you've had a couple this season. So what was that moment like this season, playing that first NHL game?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a dream coming true. When I got that call, I was getting called up. Didn't believe it was real. When I got the news that I was playing, I was so happy. Didn't take a nap that day. Couldn't sleep. I was so excited, but that was a great day.
Yeah, you were all smiles that all the interviews that we saw when the announcement came out. And then not long after that, you played your first game in kind of your hometown of Montreal. I know you're from Quebec, but it's kind of the team you grew up cheering for. How was that experience? Did you have a ton of friends and family in attendance that day?
Yeah, I think there was maybe around more than 200 people that were there watching the game. Yeah, so
expensive.
I didn't give tickets to all of them though. I got lucky because I would have been poor after that. I gave tickets to like my family, my brother, my closest friends. But no, there was over 200 people that was there. But no, that was like I've been watching games and going to games, watching Montreal my whole life, and it's as a Quebec native playing on that rink and playing on that ice is surreal. So it definitely was a special moment.
Yeah, I bet. And we won't go through kind of your first kind of scrum on the ice, but what was that first goal like against Dustin Wolf versus Calgary?
That was when I scored that goal, I said it in another interview. I felt like the puck was just in slow motion going in, and then when I just saw like it touch the net, and then just the light go on, it just arms up right away, and then I remember it was Matsi that came and just hugged me, and then Steny, and they just jumped in my arms. That was a great moment, to get that first one.
Yeah, I bet your phone was blowing up all night too.
Yeah, it was. It was a good couple of days, like playing that first game and then scoring that goal, and then the phone was blowing up for a lot of days. Yeah.
Yep. No, and I mean, you were able to come right onto the team when they needed that support the most, being down Sean Dursey and John Marino. And I mean, I think a lot of people were really impressed with your play, just being able to come in, take on some big minutes. I'm sure you learned a lot, and we'll be kind of asking you a little bit about that experience in a little bit here. But one other first moment I have to talk about and have to ask you about. I remember during that first development camp in Arizona, you mentioned you had Chipotle for the first time, and it may have been the first Mexican food you had, or maybe the first Mexican food in the States you had. Now that you've been in Arizona and Tucson for a couple years, do you have a new favorite Mexican place?
You know what?
No,
I didn't. I didn't test those places out yet, but
okay.
I gotta go to. There's like a supermarket close here. I was cooking steaks where I live here, and there was like another barbecue next to me, and like it was like a Mexican guy, and he was cooking Mexican food too. And he just asked me what I was cooking. I just started talking with him, and then he like gave me a piece of what he was cooking of the meat, and it was so good. It was insane. So it was like a supermarket about 10 minutes away from here. So he told me to go buy some food there. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do probably tomorrow and cook that on the barbecue after. So that's
awesome, yeah.
my other experience.
Was it carne asada?
Yeah, it was. It was actually that. Yeah, and I
so
love
good.
it. Yeah, I loved it. It was so good, and then the way he was cooking it, it was all marinated and all spices
yeah.
were on it. So that was great. Yeah.
Yeah, a little pro tip. I mean, go to the little taquerios around town and just grab whatever meat they'll put in the plastic bag and bring it home. I mean, oh yeah, that's the way to go.
Okay, I'll try it out. I'll
throw
try
it
it
on the
out.
grill and you'll be set.
It's amazing for like a big party or like like a pool party or something like that. You just throw that on the grill. It's so easy to cook and it's delicious. So I'm glad you found it.
Yeah, I'll try that out. That's for sure.
That's amazing. Mav, you've had a pretty wild last couple of years where you've gone from Drummondville to Tucson and a little bit in Utah. What has that time been like, and what do you see as maybe the key differences between those leagues?
Yeah, well, it's crazy. Like playing from junior last year to starting year with Tucson, and then getting called up, playing in the NHL, and coming back down here. It's a lot of movement all around. See, I was playing home on the other side of the country, in a different country actually. Now I'm here, but the difference is like guys are so much bigger here. Like they're quicker, they're stronger, they're faster, they're older, but also like at this level you got to be consistent, and that's what I've started to learn. You got to be good every night, because if you have one night off, it could go down really quick, and then your team could be down a lot of goals really quick. So you got to be consistent. You got to have your A game every night, and if you don't have your A game, you got to have a really good B game and be simple and don't make any mistake. So that's mostly the big difference. Like if you have a bad game in junior, it's fine. Like I could still score a goal or have a point or have a good game overall, and next day I forget about it and it's fine. But here it's business every day, and you got to be all out every day.
In your experience, did you find the jump from the Q to the AHL more difficult, or was it going from Tucson to Utah?
I would say from the Q to Tucson. That's the bigger jump for sure. I was playing against, last year I was playing against some kids. There was some guys that were 16 years old. Now I'm playing against some guys in the AHL that are 35, 30, 28, that are some men. And mostly the guys are the same from AHL to the NHL. So it's definitely the jump from junior to pro to the AHL was bigger.
So you can't throw those 16-year-olds over the glass anymore in the HL.
It's a bit harder now. It's a bit harder.
Yeah,
I want to do it, but it takes a bit more strength. I don't always get them. Give me a couple of years and I will.
I was going to say, I'm surprised there's bigger people than Mav in the AHL, but then I think of that Tucson team, and then there's Curtis Douglas, who I think is 6'8", 6'9", right? And maybe still growing.
Yeah, he's 6'9", 250 pounds. He's a big guy, so he's hard to move around.
For sure. Big off season coming up for you. In your mind, what are the areas of your game that you need to work on to lock in a spot with U-Time full-time next year?
I already know it. It's been like that for a couple of years now. I got to put on some weight. I got to get stronger and bigger, and having like summers are bigger now than what they were in junior. So I got maybe one more month to train and really put some weight and some strength on. So it's gonna be a big summer of that for me, so that I could come back next year, and no one's gonna push me around, and I'll be more dangerous out there.
Is that the feedback you're hearing as well from people like Bill Armstrong, Andre Tourné, development coach Lee Stepniak, that they're looking for you to build up physically ahead of next season?
Yeah, let's say more on the off ice side. That's mostly the main aspect that they want me to not improve, just put some weight on and get bigger. Especially with the style of play I have, I need that. And I feel it's normal. Like, I'm only 21 years old now, so it's normal that I'm not at that point yet. It's gonna come, but this summer is gonna be huge for me for that.
When you're building up your game like that, are there certain players you're watching in games or in tape, and any players like that you're modeling your game after, or who you want to become?
Yeah, one I've always loved was Colton Parayko.
Oh.
And playing that game in St. Louis against him, I felt that was a special night for me, because I've been watching that guy for so many years now, and I try to model my game after him, and he's so good. And watching him in live and being on the same ice as him was really impressive. Like, he scored a goal in the first period of that game too, and just seeing how he plays and how he is and how big he is and how strong he is with the puck and just patient and poised. Seeing that in person was even like a bigger motivation to become a player like him.
Did you guys get to like link up or chat afterwards, or?
I did not. No, I did not. That game, I got kicked out that game, so I don't think that team really likes me now. So
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's another
That
NHL first.
but if I could one day talk to him, that'd be a really good moment. Yeah,
Well, Colton Parayko and Maveric Lamoureux, both Bill Armstrong draft picks.
exactly.
Yep.
So
Matt, looking at your season in Tucson this year, how would you say things have gone for you?
yeah, I feel it's been a bit of a roller coaster. I feel like it's been up and down. I feel this first 4 game I was playing here to start the year, I was really happy with my game. I was really good, and I did really good. And then coming back here after playing in the NHL, I feel like I had to adapt in a way, because the game is different. We play it's different. My teammates are not the same. The other opponents are not the same. So I just had to adapt back to this game, and I feel like that took me a little while. But I feel like the past 10 games, 12 games or so, I've really got my game back, and I've been playing really well. So
Awesome.
it took me a little bit of time when I got back here, but no, yeah, I'm happy with it now.
One more question from me. You had an opportunity to play with veteran players like Oli Mata, Ian Cole. Any advice that they gave you to prepare for the next steps in your NHL career?
Yeah, well, that's what Cozy was my D partner. I talked to him a lot, and that's what he told me, like, do the same as yesterday. Be the same. Don't try to do too much. Be as good as yesterday. And that's what I told you guys about consistency. It's the biggest aspect. You got to be good for 82 games, and it's hard to do it. But those good players, they do it, and they know how to be good every day. And that's what he was telling me. Like, before every game, I was like, let's do the same as last game. Let's be good, quick, simple, hard to play against, and we're gonna get it, and we're gonna be fine. So that's mostly the tips that he gave me.
Yeah, never a bad thing to take advice from a player like Ian Cole. 2 Stanley Cups, always in the playoffs.
Exactly. So I know he's a great guy to listen to and take advice from.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot you can learn from a player like him, but one thing that they can't learn from a player like you is your size. You're massive. That's the first thing everybody noticed about you. What are some of the advantages and disadvantages of being that tall and big on the ice?
Yeah, well, I feel like I cover so much space, and like beating me one-on-one is really hard, and that doesn't happen often. And if they do, they probably had a good move, or I did something wrong. So having like a long stick, having a long reach, and covering so much space, so I feel like that's a huge advantage for me. And even just going around sticks, going around players with my reach, that's also really useful. I feel sometimes what is a disadvantage is maybe my triangle is bigger and my feet are going to be wider. It's easier to play around in there. Or if sometimes I'm out of position, it's a bit harder to get back to it and like get back on the D side. So I feel like that's what sometimes it's could be tricky. But it's my body. I'm used to it. My skating is pretty good. So overall, I feel like I'm doing a great job.
Yeah, you're very mobile for your size, and that's what caught our eye right away. But as far as the physicality aspect, I mean, we've seen that too. Does that factor into your play on a regular basis, and does that lead to taking more penalties?
You know what? Yes and no, because sometimes I want to. That's what I've been learning a lot. I am not gonna kill the guy every time, and I am not gonna put him in the stands every time. So sometimes I gotta stay back a bit and just play their body and just eliminate them from the play. And sometimes, yes, that got me to have like a tripping call or a slashing or just a holding or a bit of a roughing. And that showed up when I was playing with Utah because at one point I was taking way too much penalty, and it was causing bad thing for the team after that. So I had to learn about that, and I had to learn to be way more careful with my stick because they call way more, and they're way more strict on calls with stick slashing, hooking, tripping, and stuff like that. So yes, I had to learn and step back a bit on that and like be more careful with it.
Yeah.
Kind of a follow-up with that. Do you think opposing veteran players kind of know how to get you to maybe be a little bit more out of position and get you to kind of use your stick in a way that the refs may notice? They can maybe beat you a little bit.
The skills player, like the bright players, like the Crosby, the Jack Hughes, Eichel, all those great guys, like they're so good at it and they're so intelligent. Even Keller is so good at it too.
Oh my God,
they're gonna go in the hands of the guy in the stick, and they're gonna be hooked by it. And well, they went in it, but it's a rule. You hooked him, you tripped him, so that's on you. You got to be careful. So those like intelligent guys and like skills guy, they're so good at it, and like get twos like called on them like that way. So even with those guys, you got to be even more careful and just really play the body, and because they're so good at it, and the refs they have to call it too.
Right. Quick question, actually, just because I'm curious. Have you always had this size with you, or did it kind of come like a growth spurt out of nowhere?
Yeah, I've always had it. I've always been taller than everyone. My mom is pretty tall, so I think it really came on from her side. But yeah, like it did have some growth spurt where I was even taller, but I've always been taller than everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, speaking of tall, Bill Armstrong loves to draft larger players. Did you interview with the team beforehand? Did you kind of have a feeling that they were going to take you, or were there other teams that you interviewed with that you thought you might go there?
Yeah, well, at the combine, I did almost every team. I think I did 27 team that I interviewed with.
Wow.
And then I did talk to Arizona quite more than other teams, but of course, there are some other teams that I talked to a lot. But Arizona, I did talk to most too. I knew that Bill liked big players, big physical players. But if they were going to draft me or no, I had no idea. I was in complete darkness there. I had no idea what was going to happen.
Right.
But when they did, I was really happy that they did. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a huge smile on your face. We saw it. It was awesome. Did you have an idea that you were going in the first round?
No, I was praying for it. I was hoping for it. I really wanted to. If it was going to happen or no, I had no idea because I was ranked more end of first round, early second round. But when they traded up, I just had a feeling inside of me that it was coming. So when I heard my name, the big smile was on walking down. So that was a great moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's just talk about it then. That clip of you being drafted went viral for many reasons.
I know what you're getting at.
Let's just say your parents look super passionate about hockey, and it looks like it's worked out. It's obviously transported to you as well. Speaking of your parents, did they have how much of a pivotal role did they have in your development and growth as a player?
Huge impact, and I feel it's like that for a lot of players. Their parents are the one you look up to your whole life, and they were the one teaching you your whole life. And I've been fortunate enough to have like great parents. They did so much for me: lifts, staying late, driving me to tournament, paying for hockey stuff, and all that thing. So I got really lucky, and they just pushed me to do whatever I loved in life, and ended up being hockey. And they always gave me everything I had to be successful. So they helped me a lot to get to where I am today, and I'm really grateful for that.
Well, I'm sure
They
they're
had to
grateful for
replace
you
your
too.
gear pretty often with all the growth spurts. Too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mostly it was mostly skates, skates
Okay.
and stilts that I was breaking a lot, and that would drive my dad crazy because like, fuck, you change skates again. Ah, come on, be careful. Like, don't crush it, guys. You're breaking every stick. So that was mostly it.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they're grateful for you as well. I mean, it was so cool. All jokes aside, it was really cool to see how excited everybody was. Your smile was ear to ear. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone was like, "Oh, are your parents okay? Like, how are they feeling?" I'm like, "They feel fine. They made out on TV, yeah, but like they love each other, so that's good."
Do you know the meaning of my last name? Come on now.
Yeah, exactly. Love people, though.
Two last quick questions, man. I always like to ask this. What's the story behind your hockey number?
I've always had 13 before,
Mhm.
because I'm born January 13, so that was
Okay.
always my number. Always liked it. 13 is also a number like people say is unlucky. You don't get it. You don't see it often. So I was like, you know what? I like that number. No one really has it, so it's kind of different. And then 10. So when I got drafted, they asked me for a number I wanted. So I wanted 13, and then they just signed a guy that had 13, so I couldn't get it. I wanted 7. It was retired for Kachuk. And then I thought about 10 because it's gonna seem weird, okay? But it was just Guy Lafleur just passed away like not long before the draft, and he had number 10, of course. And I just thought about that, and I was like, you know what, that's a great number, so I'll get that number. So that's the reason why.
I don't think it's weird at all. In fact, I love the number 10
Yeah.
on a jersey. So it's awesome to see, and I'm always curious to see how you landed up on it. I love that story. So,
Yeah.
lastly, man, you've been very gracious with your time. So we just want to be able to shed a little bit more light about you personally. What's one thing about you that fans may not know about you that you potentially like to share with us?
I don't know. Yeah, well, about anything in life or just something?
Anything, man, anything.
I have a couple. I played lacrosse for 6 years, so I'm a big lacrosse guy. I love it. It's so fun. Played box lacrosse in Quebec. Actually, in my opinion, it's the best sport to do during summer for hockey. So I did that. Good juggler too. We had a grade 5 and 6. We had like a circus at our school, so I was like, why not? I'll just do it, and then I ended up trying juggling, and then I ended up being really good at it. So I had that. Besides that, big animal family. My mom loves dog. We love animal. We had a lot of animals at home. We got 3 dogs, 3 cats. So yeah, so I'll say that could be it. Yeah.
Awesome.
I was not
Does the
expecting
juggling help with your hockey hands?
Yeah, I know exactly. No one really like this. Mostly a goalie thing too. So goalies are really good at it, but I don't know. I just started that for fun, and then just ended up being good at it. So I was like, yeah, I'll just try it out, and then ended up making it. So yeah, that was fun. A long time ago though.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for joining the podcast. We'll be rooting for the Road Runners. Hopefully you guys make the playoffs. And if you do, hopefully we come down and see you guys play a little bit live. And then obviously good luck with all your off-season training. Get extra carne asada. Al Pastor is the marinated pork. That one may be a little bit more fatty to help bulk you up.
I need that, so it's fine.
Yeah. And then good luck. And once you hit training camp again, we'll be rooting for you.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys. It was a good time. See ya.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
bye.
you.
Well, another awesome interview. I mean, we've had some great ones this season. If you haven't checked them out, we interviewed Kobo Dwan, who is a first-round draft pick in Utah's first ever draft. We had, of course, Kessel King on the show, Mick Payne on the show, and now we got Maveric Lamoureux. I mean, we got like the 3 largest bruisers of the team.
That's right.
Small, just like Pokemon. But really fun interview. Make sure you're watching the Road Runners for that playoff push. And if they make the playoffs, we'll definitely be rooting for them. A couple other prospects on the roster. I think Yamamoto just got sent down along with the goaltender, and should be a good team to cheer for. A lot of vets on that team. I think next year we're going to start to see them kind of shift and incorporate those younger players like Julian Lutz and Matica on the team a little bit more, and we may have some more players that are kind of creeping up from the prospect pool. Like Moraz, we may see the two big Russians, Daniel Boot and Simishev, spend some time down there. So lots of exciting things going on in the Sonoran Desert. Before we go to kind of recapping our time in Salt Lake and a little bit of our season recap, we do want to give a shout out to Overtime Cards and Collectibles. Just last night, they announced the Spicy Tuna Liam O'Brien signing event. That is going to be on April 24th from 4 to 7 p.m. These tickets are going to sell out very, very fast. So make sure you go to their website ASAP, get your tickets. You don't want to miss out. I was at the Sergachev event. It's a huge community bash. It's a great place to meet other Utah Hockey Club fans, pick up some cards, trade some of your favorite for some of your favorite players that maybe other people are cracking open. But even better about this event is all proceeds from it are going to go to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So what a great cause to kind of close out this year at Overtime Cards and Collectibles. Make sure you're following them on Twitter at Overtime Cards UT, so you never miss out on any of their events. And I know they have an email subscribers place on their website as well. So you'll want to definitely make sure you are completely up to date for all their events, because again, these sell out in days. Again, it got announced last night. You probably have till the end of today or tomorrow to get your tickets. So just go ahead and do that right now. But again, awesome place, awesome community development down there, and right next to the up and coming Utah Hockey Club practice space. So I have a feeling we're going to be hanging out at Overtime Cards all the time next season. But speaking of this season, it's kind of sad. It's over.
Yeah. Kind of hurt.
Yeah. It's kind of like, what are we going to do now?
Well, we know, we talked about it ad nauseum in previous episodes. Playoff hockey, first and foremost, is the best playoffs in any sport. It's going to be insane. The first round is going to be crazy. Some of those matchups are insane. So we're gonna have our hands full with that. We're obviously gonna chat about that as well. But this summer is gonna be huge for this team. It's, you know, right around the trade deadline, we talked about how we shipped off Weber's contract and that we were so close, like really, really close to the playoffs. Bill Armstrong has been a very, very patient man, but as you saw last summer, he wanted to take some massive strides. He did. Expect some significant moves in the offseason, and I can't wait for it. I was almost hoping we didn't make a big trade deadline acquisition, because I think moves in the summer, right around the draft, or like in the dead heat of the summer, are the most exciting ones. So stay tuned. We're going to have a lot of information and shows about that as well.
It's coming, right? We're close. Only missed the playoffs by a couple of points.
Yeah.
If you listened to Andre Tourney last night after the game, he said this was the 7th best team in the league after the Four Nations break. I think they were 16-4, 16-5, something like that. So
that's crazy.
I mean, if you can go on that sort of pace for a whole season, then you're well into the playoffs.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, as a team that was missing 2 of their top 4 defensemen for, I mean,
more than half,
3/4 of the season, definitely half, with Marino coming back in January. So,
and half our goalie tandem, you know, I mean, that's significant, you know, and I know Vemelka carried the load, but Ingram's a good goaltender. And it's, he probably would have stepped in and maybe given a tired Vemelka a little bit of a break and stole a couple games for us. So, there's huge things that happened, and we're still wishing Connor Ingram the best, full recovery, and hoping to see him back very soon.
Also, tons of other milestones that the team hit, especially personal ones. Clayton Keller last night, 30 goals, 60 assists, 90 points. What a beautiful little stat line that is. First time he hit 90 points. I mean, talk about just a career arc here. I mean, his rookie season, we got to watch. I think he had around low 60s, maybe 65 his rookie season. Then dipped for a couple years after that. And it wasn't really until Andre Tournier came in 3 seasons ago that he was able to hit those 80-point marks, was starting to get into the 30-goal range. Now that it's happened so many times, especially on a team where the offense is we're starting to see it with the young guns. We're starting to see it a little bit more up and down the lineup. It's nice to know that it doesn't necessarily just have to be him carrying everything and that he can still put up those numbers. So Mr. Versatility had one hell of a season this year.
Yeah. And Brad and I talked about it on the last show, kind of a benchmark, and we'll see, Corey, if you kind of agree with this, but a benchmark for a legitimate bona fide top 6 player is 60 points. And if you hit the 60-point mark, or if you hit the 30-goal mark, you're looked at as like a legitimate top 6 player. And the fact that, we got one 90-point player and then 3 guys after that are in the 60-point range, that's unreal. I think Corey was the one that mentioned it. We haven't had 4 60-point scorers on a team since back when we were the Winnipeg Jets, right?
Yeah. 1992, 93. So what's that?
I was born in 92.
Something years ago. There you go.
I was born in 92. Yeah, Brad, you still look younger than me. So no, it's crazy to think about, and just seeing Keller's trajectory under Bear, and then seeing young guns like Gunther and Cooley flourish under him so early on in their career. It only feels like the only way to go is up. So it's really exciting.
Yeah. As much as Keller just hit 90, I think he can still get to 100. Split the year playing with Hayton and Cooley. So what happens next year when he's playing with Cooley for the full 82, and Logan Cooley is going to be 21, 22 years old instead of how old he is now, right? He's going to continue to get better over the next probably 8 years, and Keller will be along for the ride.
And what were Gunther's and Cooley's point per game paces if they were healthy? What were they? Do you know offhand?
Yeah, so if they would have played the full 82, Gunther would have been at 70, and he just turned 22, and Cooley would have been at 71. So throw that in with Keller only missed the 1 game, so he had 90. Nick Schmaltz had a career high for points as well, 62. Awesome. Yeah, we have a lot of picks. We got a lot of cap space, and we don't have a lot of needs this summer, right? It's really just those 2 pieces. So if you need 1 center and 1 wing, and you have all these assets to do it, that tells me those are going to be some pretty big pieces.
Right.
Yep. I definitely foresee an upgrade in the top 6, and then you just got to wonder how all these building blocks just snap into place at that point. Like you mentioned, Cooley and Gunther were kind of shifting around the lineup for a majority of the season. There was a point where they were playing together for quite a bit on the second line, but Cooley was up and down on that top power play unit. I have a feeling he may get solidified on that top unit next year, but you got to wonder, I mean, if they keep Schmaltz and upgrade and just bring in another player, I mean, there's only so many spots in the top 6. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this all pans out. But 5-on-5 scoring, I do feel, is like one of those areas where the team can improve a little bit. They did drop in their goals for per game played just a little bit from the year before. Of course, the year before they had 6 20-goal scorers, and Gunther was on I think over a 30-goal pace, and I think he had just missed that 20-goal mark, but only played half the season. So there was definitely a little bit of an adjustment there. I'm not surprised either. I don't think that was very sustainable when you have guys like Harkoni putting up 20 goals. But next year, I think is going to be that year where we see a even larger amount of players in that 60 and 50 point range. And even a guy like Sergachev had a career year for goals, but not points. What happens next year when there's just more firepour?
And he still had what, like 54 points? Is that what it was? If I remember,
he missed a little time too.
You know what? I didn't even look after the surge of the 7 goals from
the Nashville game. 53 and 77.
53 and 77 games. that.
Oh yeah, and he missed some time too.
Yeah, he missed some time too. So if you think about that, that's a defenseman, folks. That is a defenseman nearly cracking the 60-point top 6 bona fide player that we were talking about here. So and he's the one dishing the puck to everybody. So it's you can only imagine what next year holds for us. So just got to pray for health.
And even at the beginning of the season, you know, he's having to pick up so much of the workload without a Jersey and without a Marino that, you know, he may not have been able to kind of focus too heavily on a lot of the offensive end of the game. And you could tell once Marino and Jersey came back, he may have had to just take the foot off the gas just slightly, because it did seem like all those heavy minutes, I mean, he's near the top in the entire league, kind of started to wear out on him. But yeah, and then obviously Vejmelka,
unreal.
Maybe the storyline of the season, MVP. All the players wanted him to get it. I mean, just what a story on top of it all. I mean, this was a guy that I didn't know who he was when BA snatched him up all those years ago, and he felt like a stopgap goaltender. I remember there was times he turned some heads, even though the team was not very good at those years, and Ingram pretty much took that spot last season, and obviously with all the personal struggles that Ingram has had to take a step back, and Vejmelka just ran with it, and it's really impressive. And I'm really excited to see maybe more of a tandem next year too. I mean, think of that record-setting Boston season where they had Swayman and Allmark just both dominating. We've seen that level of play from Ingram again, and if you're a Utah fan and you weren't watching the Arizona Coyotes last season, you have not seen Ingram's best yet. So it's really, really exciting to think that we have two guys that I'm going to feel pretty confident in night in and night out.
And if you go back to like our beginning, our first couple episodes, we were predicting Ingram to be the top guy, you know, and that's because the year prior he was just absolutely unreal. He won, what's the reward or the award that he won last year for like the comeback player, or the one that is it the Masterson?
No,
That
it's
sounds
the
right.
it's the other one similar to that.
The Clancy.
Oh no, it is the Masterton. Yes, the Clancy is the other one.
Yeah. So, and it just like the comeback player of the year after something that you know, so hard to go through, and he bounced back, and it's worth mentioning that Sergachev is up for that award this year too. But so with a true tandem, like Brad said, I didn't know what we had in Vejmelka. And I remember the night, and I'm like, whoa, we might have a player here. It was an abysmal season in Arizona. And Elliot Friedman on Hockey Night in Canada on Saturday night was like, teams are looking at Vejmelka. If you look at his underlying numbers, he's a stud. And I did. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this poor guy is just getting peppered every night. And yeah, we might be losing 7-4, but like, it was just a bad season. It's so refreshing to finally say, yeah, we have a bona fide top 15 goalie. I think that's what we discovered, Brad. He's in the top 15. I think he's like ranked 13 overall in goals against average, and then save percentage, he's right around there too. And that's not a lot of goalies. It's not just 32 goalies. There's more than 32 goalies in the league. So it's really cool to see.
Yeah, much deserved extension for Vejmelka, and this year he really showed that he can take that number one spot and run with it. Playing, what was it, 24 of the last 25 games? Yeah. So lots of promise for him going forward, and just on Connor Ingram, it's hard to forget his last season in Arizona, 50 games but 6 shutouts.
Yeah,
led the league in shutouts.
Led the league. Okay. Yep. Awesome. Well, as we get approaching the off season here, if you want to help support Clean Hits and the podcast here, you can subscribe to our written content at cleanhitshockey.com. You can pick up a shirt, and that will be at shops.cleanhitshockey.com. You can get the Gunther shirt, the Mammoth Club shirt. We got a Keller shirt. We got the Sergachev Elite shirt. Got some more ideas kind of bubbling around here. So we'll be releasing those. So make sure you pick those up. It's a great way to support this podcast and support us. And please like and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. it goes a long way in just kind of getting us out to more people. And again, that means helping this community grow. And if you'd like, we do have a Discord where we have tons of fans who chat so much about this team that I can't keep up with it anymore. So shout out to all of our fantastic Club Mammoth fans at our Discord, and you can join that by going to discord.cleanhitshockey.com. So again, shop.cleanhitshockey.com, discord.cleanhitshockey.com. Find us on all the socials. Give us a like, a subscribe. We will give you a thumbs up or a big hug when we see you in person. And speaking of seeing you in person, me and Kenny just got back from Salt Lake City, and we had a heck of a time. Heck of a time, if you will. We stayed like 5 minutes from the rink, so we just kind of moseyed on over right after we finished the live stream. Got to see so many awesome faces. Really got to see how this community has grown over the course of the season, and it's really impressive. I mean, Corey, you were out in October, and even then you were seeing a bunch of familiar faces. Trent came out in February, I believe. I came out in late March, and then finishing it up with the home opener or home finale just felt like the cherry on top. And it's you guys, there is something really special with what's going on in Salt Lake City and Utah around this team.
Yeah, shout out to Michael, shout out to Dave, shout out to Dexter. Oh God, there's so many other people that I'm missing. But it was incredible to meet all of you. Oh, the Killer Bees too. You got Bell, Bagley, and Brogan. They were awesome. But everybody that just treated us with like the status that I've never even felt in my life. And I'm trying to tell people like we are just dudes that like to talk hockey. Like people coming up and asking for pictures, like shuffling us to the beginning or the front of the line saying, hey, you can come in with me. We get in a pass 30 minutes early because I have this card. Shout out Dave, man. That was, it was so cool to see how welcomed we were. And I know I can probably say, speak for Corey and Trent when we say it's extremely humbling and really, really makes us proud of what we do and proud to be a part of this community. And man, it was such a good trip. There was
lots of smiles,
lots of pictures, and
lots of hugs. Yeah,
lots of hugs. Right. We're definitely looking forward to doing it again. That's for sure. And we want all four of us, I think, would be an awesome trip.
Oh yeah, it will happen. We will make sure that we organize and get the date out that we do a full 4 Clean Hits members trip and tons of content and meetups and whatnot. It's going to be fun, and I mean, I can't wait for next season already. It's been a while since it's something that I'm already marking my calendar for.
Yep, agreed. Well,
awesome.
There's couple last shout outs, but we have to give a prop or a round of applause, if you will, to our boy Austin Facer with SLC Puck. He celebrated his year anniversary of the podcast yesterday, and poetically his 100th podcast will be tonight. So obviously Austin, friend of a show, is an incredible, and he's like the personality of Utah hockey. He is so fun to watch. You can listen to him, but I would definitely recommend watching him.
Yeah.
Go ahead and head over to his page on X or on YouTube and share some love, because he's earned it. He's made a lot of strides this year, and he's made this a lot more fun and enjoyable. So just huge shout out to you, Austin. We appreciate all your support. I know there's other guys too that we want to shout out. I'm just blanking on the names right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's so cool to see how many fan podcasts and podcasts have started around this team or content out there. Salty Ice Crew and Utah Hockey Club, the Broccoli Man himself, organizing all those meetups at every game really helps kind of make that community feel like a big family. The Puck Drop podcast doing some awesome content on all things local hockey in Utah really helps you get that perspective of exactly what's going on. NHL Utah with Wolfie doing fantastic coverage of the team as well. So make sure you're checking out all those great shows. I mean, it's just truly wild to know that there's just so many people kind of covering the team and finding their voice in it. And it's been really fun to watch other shows pop up, and just, again, big happy family.
Yeah. There's not a lot of times that you have multiple podcasts covering the same thing and everybody gets along amazingly. And it's just because, it's just the credit to the people running it. So you guys were all incredible, and we thoroughly appreciate you and can't wait to collab with you again in the future.
Yep.
I think just one more shout out to give. I know you guys had a chance to meet Neil in Salt Lake City. I think he was
Neil,
a day one subscriber to Clean Hits, got us some shirts. And
yes.
Yeah, like I said, he's been around since day one, and he hasn't gotten sick of us yet. So
yeah. Thank you, Neil. I knew I was forgetting people when I was name dropping there, and it's one of the ones that I wanted to shout out. So I appreciate you cleaning up my mess here, Corey.
It's Clean Hits.
Yeah, hey, that's right. That's right.
Well, I'm sure there's some people we forgot to, but just know that we appreciate everything everybody's doing, whether you're a fan, you're making content around the team, just rooting for the team. It's all positive, and that's something that it feels really welcoming with this team. That's all I got for this first inaugural season as the Utah Hockey Club. It's kind of weird to think that next year is going to be an inaugural season for the Utah Mammoth, or whatever name they do decide. It's like we get to do it all over again. So, I'm for it.
Yep. Can't wait to see the branding drop. It's going to be awesome. We'll have a huge episode on that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So. Awesome. Well, anything else, boys?
No.
Playoff picks coming soon.
Yes, that's right. Can't wait for that.
We'll have our playoff episode next week. Otherwise, this is Clean Hits Hockey Podcast. We'll catch you next time. Adios.